The man in the iron mask, myth or reality? What if I told you that, centuries ago, a man was locked away in a fortress so secretive, his identity hidden behind a mask of iron, a mask so imposing that no one was ever allowed to see his face? What could possibly be so dangerous about his existence that even the king himself ordered this extreme form of isolation? Who was he? And why was he condemned to such a strange fate? The story of the man in the iron mask is a tale that has intrigued historians, authors, and even ordinary people for centuries. It is a tale of power, betrayal, and mystery. A man imprisoned, not just in a dungeon, but in history itself. Forgotten by time, yet never truly erased. Picture the year 1669. The air is thick with the scent of damp stone and cold iron. The walls of the infamous Bastille are lined with shadows, and the only sound echoing through the fortress is the distant clatter of guards' boots on the cobbled floors. Inside one of its darkest, most secure cells, a prisoner is kept. But this prisoner is no ordinary man. He wears a mask, not a simple cloth mask, or a leather covering, but one made of iron. The heavy, cold metal is bolted into place, covering his entire face, leaving his identity a complete mystery. No one is allowed to speak to him directly. No one is to even catch a glimpse of his eyes. And yet, this man is not some nameless criminal. His past, his noble lineage, and the very reason for his imprisonment have been carefully concealed. What could have been so important about his existence that it had to be hidden from the world? The identity of this mysterious man remained a secret for years, but whispers soon began to circulate. Some say he was a prisoner of political convenience, someone who knew too much about the inner workings of the French court. Others claim he was an enemy of the state, someone whose existence threatened the very foundation of the monarchy. But the most intriguing theory of all was that he was none other than the twin brother of King Louis XIV. Imagine it. Louis XIV, the Sun King, the most powerful ruler in Europe, with a secret hidden deep within the very bloodline he worked tirelessly to protect. What if, in the shadows of Versailles, a twin brother had been born, a brother who was not meant to share the throne? What if this royal twin was considered a threat, not just to the throne, but to the image of the king himself? If the truth were known, it could have destroyed the public image of the monarchy. Perhaps, for the sake of power and control, he was hidden away, masked and locked in the deepest corner of the kingdom. But even this theory, as tantalizing as it is still just a theory. A theory that has been passed down through history, but never confirmed. Some say that, despite the mask, the man behind it was a figure of great importance. He was not just an ordinary prisoner, he was someone with immense power and influence, someone whose very presence could cause turmoil in the royal family. A brother who might have been hidden away to protect both his life and the monarchy's delicate balance. But if that's true, then why was his face so important? Why was it necessary for no one to know who he was, even to the very end of his days? The man was eventually moved from the Bastille to the fortress of Pignerol, then to the fortress of Sainte Marguerite, and finally, to the prison of the Château d'If. And during all this time, no one, not a single soul, was ever allowed to see his face. The only people who came into contact with him were his jailers, who were instructed to treat him with strict anonymity. They could not address him directly, and his name was never spoken aloud. He was, for all intents and purposes, a ghost in the system. His life was hidden so completely that even the most dedicated historians have struggled to uncover any concrete details about his existence. But there's something even more chilling. According to some accounts, the man never even spoke during his time in captivity. He lived in total silence, cut off from the world. Could this silence have been the result of isolation? Or was it a deliberate choice, a sign of something deeper, a desire to remain faceless, lost in time? Theories abound, of course. Some believe that the prisoner was an illegitimate son of the king. Others think he was a political rival whose existence was considered too dangerous to reveal. But there is one theory that stands out, the theory that the man in the iron mask was the twin brother of Louis XIV. Why hide him away? What would it mean for the monarchy if the truth came to light? And more importantly, who gave the orders for such a drastic measure? In the end, the man in the iron mask disappeared from history just as mysteriously as he arrived. Some say he died in prison, others claim he was executed in secret. His identity remains one of the most debated mysteries of the 17th century. And perhaps it is this very mystery that has captured the imagination of generations. But the question remains, was he truly the twin brother of the king? Or was he someone else entirely, hidden away for reasons far more complex than we can imagine? The truth about the man in the iron mask may never be known. His face will remain concealed forever, and his identity lost to the pages of time. But even now, centuries later, the mystery lingers, waiting for someone to unravel its threads. Perhaps the real question is it better for some secrets to remain unsolved? The story of the man in the iron mask remains just that, a story. But is it a myth, or a reality waiting to be uncovered?